Hello to my friends out in YouTube land. It's your old buddy Lee, the unknown author. I wanted to check in and say hi. I really had a long grind today. I worked on my story, The Waitman House Seance, Volume 4. I'm hoping to wrap up the story in the next 3 weeks or so. It's been a long, hard drive. I've had to change a few things around, and I changed my plot the last couple days. I was going to have a murder happen in the last couple of days of the story, but I was afraid that a murder was too dramatic of an event and that it would take away from the drama of the final seance in the Waitman house. I'm pretty sure I made the right call on this one. I want to make sure that the seance is really the key at the end, and there's nothing to distract from the drama that's going to happen there that night. I think that it's going to take me a week or 10 days just to write the 3 or 4 hours of the seance that's going to occur in the Vista Parlor on the 4th floor of the Waitman Mansion. I'm trying to wrap this up, and it's been a real labor-intensive time. The book means a lot to me, so I'm trying to make it the best that I possibly can. You know, when you love something and care about it, you try to give it your best. And I've tried to do that with my story. The story that I'm working on and about seeing double now because I was on it for 9 hours today, is the same story that I'm putting on special on Amazon. In one of my videos, I explain how I've got a special going on the Waitman House Seance, the director's cut. I don't want to have to explain it again, but if you go back a couple videos a couple days ago, you'll see an explanation. This is just the second day, and you can still get a copy of the ebook on Amazon for $1.99. So if you're interested in reading about the first seance that occurred at the Waitman House, you can get it for a couple of bucks, but you better do it tonight because it'll be $2.99 tomorrow. Just saying. You know, I'm going to be talking about the Waitman House Seance quite a bit on this channel. It's my flagship book, one of two. My other flagship book is The Voyage of the Jormungandr. I'll be going into details about that. I'm just getting started on YouTube, really. I've been kind of fiddling around with it, not getting serious, but I decided to really throw myself into it and see if I can monetize it and make it interesting for any of my viewers. Tonight, I did make a 9.5-minute video. It's basically the work that I did today, July 26th or 27th. I believe it's the 27th. The work I did today, I put it into my Chromebook and created a video. And it's the story of how Carla and her boyfriend Larry stumble upon a treasure in a box in a closet, basically. They find a big box in the closet, look in the box, and down near the bottom they find an old stamp collection in a 1948 stamp album. It's a beautiful collection. They suspect that the kid that put it together must have had some adult help because it's really a fabulous find. They were pretty blown away by finding that, but then the real surprise came when they got to the bottom of the box and they found the coin collection. And I'm not going to bother to describe the coin collection. The video that comes right before this video, The Treasure of Uncle Clarence, is, I believe, what it's called. describes in detail the events that I wrote about today. So if you want a little bit of a flavor, a little bit of a taste of what I create on a daily basis, what I did today is the video that is posted right before this video. So you can go and get a little bit of a taste right now and go back and listen to that video, and you can see what I created for a scene in my story. I pushed hard just to see if I could. You know, you got to have the stamina and the determination if you want to be an author. It's not for the light-hearted, faint-hearted, and you're going to have the drive to succeed and make it. If you don't have the drive to write, you're going to have a long slog. So anyway, sitting down, determined, I put in a good day on the story today. My goal was to wrap up Thursday in the story, and I did. I made it. Larry's going home to his own home. He doesn't stay with his girlfriend. They haven't known each other that long yet. And in all my stories, all my female characters are very important to me. And I try to keep them very morally sound. And they're nice, good-hearted people with values, so to speak. It's just like the same way that I don't use any foul language in any story, and I never have. I know all the words, and I've heard them all lots of times. And in some books, even my hero Stephen King, he uses a lot of the foul language. People screaming it, derogatory words for women and stuff like that. I don't use any of that, and I never have, and you'll never read it in a single one of my stories. I just don't think that the story benefits from foul language, and I'll never use it in any of my stories. It's just how I feel about it. When I put out a story, I think any kid that was 12 years old could sit down and read my story. Some of it gets pretty scary and graphic with the ectoplasm coming out of people's eyeballs and noses and that kind of thing. So it's can be kind of scary sometimes, but it's never dirty or foul. It's just not how I write. So anyway, if you want to get a sample of one of my days worth of work, you can go back one video, and it's a Chromebook Notebook LM video, and I think that it'll give you a good idea of what I do every day, my little work routine, how I write, and a little bit of an example of a story. And if you ever dreamed of finding a coin collection in a closet, you know, your old rich uncle died, or even your poor uncle died, and you go to his house and Mom told you could have whatever you find, and you went in the closet and found a box down there in the corner, and then opened it up, and all of a sudden you started finding coin books that were plumb full of silver coins from the 1930s. That's kind of the idea of my story. The thrill of finding something valuable and something interesting. Carla had the benefit of having her boyfriend Larry there, so he knew a little bit about coins. He estimated, and he's not a coin expert or a coin appraiser, but he just thought off the top of his head that what she found in the closet may be worth somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000. I got a feeling they're going to find out it's worth more than that. But that's just me. I don't know what's going to happen. Most of my stories write themselves. And just because I start out with one plan doesn't mean that the plan isn't going to change along the way. I've made some dramatic plot changes the last week of writing a book. And I imagine that I'll make some plot changes on this one too as it goes. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, I was going to have a guy get murdered because I thought it would add some drama to the story, but when I had a chance to think about it, I thought I was trying to cram too much into the story and make it too complicated. It's got enough action and drama already without having to force more down its neck. You know, you can overcomplicate things and lose sight, and often a story is true beauty is in its simplicity. So I decided I'm just going to stay the course. I kind of had an idea of how I wanted this to all end, and so I'm going to follow through on that. There's going to be a happiness at the end, and there's going to be kind of a deep sadness at the end too. I'm not going to tell you in advance. So anyway, just to reiterate, after you read and see the video, remember that you have a chance to buy an ebook copy of the Waitman House Seance, the director's cut. It's on Amazon right now and will be for 3 or 4 more days. I kind of screwed up and I didn't know how to set my time on the countdown special, Amazon countdown special, and I accidentally cut myself off of 2 or 3 days at the end, which I'll lose. So I lost part of my promotional abilities because I didn't know to go up to the calendar and go into August and get that extra 3 days on there. So that's the way it goes. I didn't get the 3 days, but I learned something. Anyway, thanks a lot for coming in tonight and checking it out. I'm trying to get more organized and thinking about maybe I should try to make a video 3 times a week. Maybe Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, something like that. I want to leave my videos up long enough so that anybody that's a regular follower of my channel can have an opportunity to see it. What I understand is that YouTube will push old videos aside if you put up too many new ones. They don't want you to overwhelm the system. So rather than overwhelm the system, I thought I'd go to 3 videos a week and see how that works out. I could probably come on here every night because I'm always excited to talk about my stories and to tell people about what I'm doing. It's really exciting for me. It's been a heck of a ride. You know, I wish I would have just fell into this when I was 20 instead of falling into it when I was 70. But, you know, you just can't control things like that, and I'm just thankful that I fell into it at all. So, anyway, good night from your old buddy Lee. Remember what I said about your opportunity for a couple bucks to get my story. And see the video before this one for a little taste of one of my daily work sessions. I think you might find it real interesting. And it is a fun adventure where you find some lost money. And it's fallen right into your hands. So it's pretty exciting for Carla. Nothing like that's ever happened to Carla before. So it's pretty cool to see her, to be there to see her hit the jackpot. She's had a tough life, lost both her parents when she was young and all that. But that's another story for another video. So thanks for coming in, and we'll see you in a couple days. Bye-bye.